Hey guys, so it's still spooky month, so we're gonna read some Pokemon fanfics apparently. These came out apparently with the Game Freak leak. Um, the person who wrote these is very much real person. They've done stuff for several Pokemon, um, like shows or movies or whatever. So it is a real person. But as for these being associated with them, um, where is it? Yeah, Pokemon mythology document. So we're gonna see the slacking. Let's see, slacking, Rapidash, Octillery. I'm guessing, but it's Yu Nakatsui. So we're gonna be seeing. Here's the Slack off one. Um, this is the Rapidash one. I don't know what this one was. This one was, and this is the Octillery one. So very much real. It looks like, but still with just a teeny tiniest pinch of salt, tiniest grain of salt. Um, it's like, why are you reading this for Spooky Month? You'll see. So, original sin based on the current Pokemon world. Now, okay, so in the distant past, when the boundaries between Pokemon and humans was still blurred, which is true. I think it was Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. You find a book in the Japanese version. It said that Pokemon and humans used to, you know, lay together. And in the English version, it was changed to humans in the distant past. Humans and Pokemon used to eat at the same table. So it's like, well, that's stupid because people still do that with their Pokemon. So what's changed? The only part is the laying with your Pokemon part. Um, so the Pokemon world is very different in the past, but there was a woman and her companions. Every day they were bored, so they would often catch Slackoth living in the nearby forest. They played cruel games with the captured Slackoth, sometimes killing them for fun, gouging out their eyes, and cutting off their ears. One day, the woman was walking alone in the forest and saw a Slackoth hanging from a tree. She climbed the tree to catch it, but slipped and injured herself. At that moment, a Vigoroth appeared. The Vigoroth had a torn ear. The woman, startled, tried to flee, but her injured leg hurt too much, and she couldn't move. The Vigoroth with the torn ear suddenly attacked her when he saw her. The woman lost consciousness. When she awoke, she was in an unfamiliar place. Before her lay a clear lake surrounded by trees, from which many Slackoth and Vigoroth were hanging. All the Pokemon bore wounds somewhere on their bodies, marks left by the woman and her companions. Upon closer inspection, she noticed that some of the Slackoth hanging from the trees were corpses. They were the very Slackoth that the woman and her friends had killed and discarded. The Slackoth were throwing the corpses into the lake. I hope no one came by that lake to get a drink. Otherwise, they'd be drinking Slackoth corpse. Terrified, the woman tried to run away, but a Slacking appeared and ripped her face off. No, the Slacking also had a torn ear. The woman then realized this was the same Vigoroth that she'd seen earlier, and fear overwhelmed her, causing her to faint once more. When the woman regained consciousness, she found herself at the entrance of the forest near her home, surrounded by her friends. They carried her back to her house. Some time later, the woman gave birth to a child, but it wasn't a human child, it was a Slackoth. She intended to abandon it, but couldn't bring herself to do so. She stopped meeting with her friends and decided to raise the Slackoth. One day, her friends, concerned about her, visited the area near her home. They found the Slackoth sleeping there, the child of the woman. As they always did, they caught the Slackoth, stabbed it in the chest, and killed it. They took the corpse and headed to the woman's house. When she saw the slain Slackoth, the woman was overwhelmed with sorrow. She grabbed the Slackoth's body and ran deep into the forest. Her friends, shocked, chased after her. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the surroundings suddenly opened up, and they found the same clear lake from before. Around the lake were the many Slackoth and Vigoroth. The woman stood before the lake, and holding the lifeless body of the Slackoth, she threw herself into the lake. Afterwards, the woman's friends began to treat Slackoth as companions, just as she did in her final moments. What? Humans hunting Pokemon. Native American ecology philosophy. In the distant past, when the boundary between humans and Pokemon were blurred, there was a grassy plain and a large lake at the foot of a mountain. Two men on the west and east sides of the lake. Two men lived on the west and east sides of the lake. Two men lived by hunting Pokemon. So, pretty much anything that was there. If it's a plain, probably a lot of Tauros, horse Pokemon, probably like Boufflant, I'm guessing, would be there. And any other, like probably a lot of wild birds. So, uh, maybe Baneri. I mean, plains also have a lot of rabbits. So, Lopunny, which he was hunting Lopunny for a different reason. You know what I'm gonna do to this thing, Batman? Joker, you can't. There's a Pokemon. There's no laws against a Pokemon, Batman. Um, the two men lived by hunting Pokemon. The man living in the west was not particularly skilled, but he strictly followed the hunting rules. The man in the east was a skilled hunter, but often neglected these rules. One day, the man from the west went to went to hunt down went to hunt and saw a Rapidash on the plain. Its lush mane shone beautifully in the sunlight. As the man went from the west, he readied his bow. The Rapidash spoke. We have children now. If I die, there will be none of us left in this plain. The man from the west lowered his bow and said, Then I will not kill you. However, I desire your beautiful mane, so I ask you to become my wife. The Rapidash became the wife of the man from the west. And then he had to freaking get up on like a stool or something to, do stuff. This was all written by a human. After about 2 months, when Ponyta began to appear on the plains, the man from the west was riding on the back of his wife. The Rapidash running across the plain. Eventually, they reached a place where many Rapidash and Ponyta were resting. The wife said, "They are my husbands. If you need, you may hunt them. What makes her so different? Why is she allowed to choose who lives and who dies? If you treat them with care, they will not die. You may hunt them. If you treat them with care, they will. Do not kill." Sorry, 10 o'clock. Been a long day. Um, do not kill the female Rapidash or the Ponyta. The female Rapidash are my sisters, and the Ponyta are my children. That means the female Rapidash are your sisters-in-law. How do they even have a concept of a sister-in-law? They're Pokemon. And the Ponyta are like your children. After a few days, the man from the east went out hunting. When he reached the plains, he found a Ponyta. He immediately shot an arrow and killed it. As he continued looking for more prey, he encountered a Rapidash. It was a female Rapidash. The Rapidash tried to say something, but the man from the east ignored it and shot his arrow. He cut the mane off the Rapidash he had killed, and proud of the and proud of the beautiful mane, decided to show it off to the man from the west. He wrapped the mane around his head and headed home. Eventually, tired of walking, the man from the east decided to rest under a large tree by the lake. How does that even happen? If a Ponyta dies or a Rapidash dies, doesn't their mane just like go out? I would assume that it's their life force, their energy keeping the mane going. Kind of like how with the Charmander, if its flame goes out, apparently dies. So the flames are kind of linked with its life force. So, I mean, we saw with Ash riding on the back of Rapidash, you know, their flames were just normal, and then they, woof, just like burst, you know, and became larger. So it's clearly using energy and everything to do that. So how would you be able to wear Rapidash's mane? That makes no sense. I mean, it's not a real horse. Or rather, it's a horse, but it's got a fiery mane. So how can you use a fiery mane as... This was written by a real person. As the man from the West and his wife... As the man from the West and his wife, the Rapidash, walked along the lake shore, they saw a glimpse of the Rapidash's mane under the shadow of a big tree. He is male, he has no children, so if you need, you may hunt him, said the wife. With that, the man shot an arrow at the Rapidash. When he approached his prey, he found the man from the east lying there, wrapped in the Rapidash's mane. Take this mane back with you, and when you hunt Rapidash, follow the rules I have told you. With those words, the Rapidash said farewell to the man from the west and returned to the plains. So they divorced? In a time when the world had no clear form, when the boundaries between gods, humans, and Pokemon were ambiguous, the absolute God Ouse created a giant, a manifestation of his chaotic power, for the ultimate creation of the world. This giant had the power to destroy, consume, and purify everything. With the giant's power, all walls were shattered and the world expanded. There was a man. One day, a wounded woman collapsed in the land where he lived. The man took her home and cared for her tenderly. Gotta make sure it was tenderly. Eventually, they fell in love, and when all her wounds had healed, the woman became pregnant with their child. After a while, she gave birth to twins. Then the woman transformed into a divine figure and began to speak. I am the god known as Aus. I once lived in a place different from here. However, I was driven here by my own manifestation, the giant. Since the giant is a part of me, I cannot kill it. The giant will destroy, consume everything, like the moon from Majora's Mask, and it will eventually descend upon the world, also like the moon from Majora's Mask. Until that day comes, I hope you will raise those children with care. Only those children who possess the powers of a god, human, and Pokemon can kill that giant. After finishing her tale, Alce vanished from before the man. The man named the twins after two words he felt when he saw Alce's true form. Aya meaning light and Ea meaning time. Kind of sounds like Dialga and Palkia. Oh, here we go. Breakdown of culture relationship. Back when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was unclear, there was a man in a seaside village. One day, as the man was walking along the beach, he found a female Octane washed up on the beach. Octane, I think, is Octillery. The man mated with Octane and threw her into the sea. So just pump and dump and throw her back into the ocean. The next day, he went to the same place and found the same Octane. The man mated with Octane again and threw her into the sea in the same way. A few nights later, the man had a dream. In his dream, Octane said to him, I can't go to you, but I'll deliver your baby. Your baby and mine. The next morning, the man went to the place where he met Octane. There he found the boy. The man took the child home and raised him. Honestly, this could have ended a few different ways, and I'm glad they ended it with that. Because the way these stories have gone so far, I was expecting something a lot darker and a lot different. Like, baby. Um, so yeah, those are from the leak, apparently. The Octane story. Oh. I'll fourth pick is just like, I'll now proceed to pleasure myself with this fish. Yeah. Oh god. Let's see. Ursaring, Poliswine, Typhlosion, Tauros, Milotic. I want to see what all these were then. Because we read the Slack-Off one. Octillery. And then I'm guessing one of these was the Rapidash. So one of these is the one that we read with the god, the owl, god owl. But that, what gets written before the family-friendly editors jump in. Yokai stuff. Hate these leaks. Now people are going to call Typhlosion is my favorite mon. Like, dude, why did you do that to an Octillery? Well, you didn't see the way she was looking at me. It's a Pokemon. That fourth one. Yeah. What was it? Brother, if I was surrounded by a bunch of mutilated Pokemon with the intention of getting a half-breed, I would have just F myself to increase the divide that they were. There's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman. No, Joker, you can't. But yeah. Happy Spooky Month.